Welcome, I'm Warren Brand, and once again I'm out in the lovely Peak District. Today I'm exploring the wonderful Monsal Trail, a country path through tunnels, over bridges, viaducts and past old stations. This is the 8.5 mile long trail which uses the track bed of the old Midland Railway line between Bakewell and Buxton. I've hired a bike at the hire shop a couple of miles from Buxton. The track is basically flat with a few slow gradients down to Bakewell. This trip will be a real treat, so hold on tight and off we go. The beginning of the route first cuts through some rocky outcrops and dives over a tall bridge spanning the River Wey. Next is a dive through the first tunnel, which is not really a tunnel at all, as it started off being a deep cutting which the builders then roofed over. Soon after are the two Chee Tor Tunnels with a short gap in between. Each of these are impressive with their high roofs and tall side walls. The second is long with an easy curve along its length which gives it a sense of mystique as you walk or cycle through. The first station found along the line is that of Miller's Dale. This area is so impressive. Most of the station buildings and the 4-track platform area is intact. When I was here last year, the old goods transfer shed was being re-roofed and tidied up. This work is coming on well. I stopped here for a coffee and a snack at the coffee shop and took a few minutes to explore the old viaduct bridges. Back in the day, this was a busy station. The original double-track line was widened, and so the fast mainline trains could rush past. Standing on the viaduct, looking down at the road far below, it's clear that the Midland Railway committed significant time and money in this valley crossing. The older parallel viaduct is cleverly constructed with tall, slender piers of stone and strong steel trusses on top. Still all good 100 years later. With my coffee and cake gone, back on the bike, I headed further along the line. The old railway line was built by the Midland Railway to link London with Manchester via Matlock and Buxton. It was opened in 1863 and passed several large mills in the valley. The line closed in 1968 and was abandoned for decades. In 1981, the Monsal Trail was formally opened and is now a very popular recreation route. The cycle I'm riding today is just a regular bike, but other types are available from the hire shop. I must say, the team at the Blackwell Mill Cycle Shop have been most helpful. They've provided lots of advice, a useful map and suggestions of where to stop. I paid just $17.50 I think, and for the day's hire I thought that was really good value. I've added a note in the description below. As the route curves south a little, the line cuts underneath a ridge of high ground. The Litton and Cressbrook Tunnels are themselves slightly curved, so the line continues to follow the valley side high up with the riverway on the left below. Mainline railways are built to be as flat as they can be, but where needed, gradients can be as much as 1 in 100. The line here through the two tunnels is that steep, and so the locos would have needed to have been in full steam to climb the gradient. It would have been horrid to have been on an open footplate with the smoke and steam ingressing the cab in the tunnels. The platform edge along one side of the line here remains to mark the location of Monsal Station. Not a lot else is here to show how the station used to look back in the day. The plate layer's hut still stands, but I think that it's a more modern variant of what may have been a wooden structure when the line was first built. Sat in the crook of the deep valley, with the riverway flowing far below, the Headstone Viaduct spans 90 metres between the high ground either side of the valley. It's about 25 metres high, with 5 magnificent arches. From the viaduct, heading east, the line dives into the Headstone Tunnel. This is the longest in current use, at 487 metres. It would have been an impressive sight to have watched over the viaduct as the locos burst out of the tunnel, heading up the line to Buxton and over the viaduct. The line east of the last tunnel has open views on both sides. The deep valley has been left behind and the line cuts through the beautiful Peak District. The old station of Great Longston is next. The platforms are still here, and so is the station building, although most of this is now private property and hidden by a high fence. I've walked along most of this route a couple of times now, but last October I realised how beautiful the autumn colours look along the line at this time of year. I plan to return, and so I have. Autumn time can be wet and drab, but the lovely yellows, golds and browns on the trees and on the ground are gorgeous, and being out today has been really lovely. I timed my trip this weekend perfectly. Hassop Station is very much still in use for the general public, as it serves the walker and cyclist with a coffee shop and a cafe. There is a cycle shop here too. From the front, the overall scale of the old station site is clear to see. But there's more to explore, so off I go again. Approaching Bakewell Station, the realisation that you are at a station happens at the last minute, and there is nothing to see from a distance. The two main walls have been kept, which are constructed of lovely red-coloured sandstone. These line the back of where the platforms would have been. It is hard to imagine that long trains up from London with 8 or more carriages behind large steam locomotives or full trains of rock from local quarries would have rushed and trundled through this station. Around the back, along the line, there are information boards which explain some of the history. Most of the station building is in use as offices, and walking around to the front, the old forecourt is still in use as a car park. From Bakewell, the old line used to continue southeasterly through Headstone Tunnel and past Rowsley. Beyond Rowsley, the Peak Rail Heritage Steam Line operates south for several miles and makes use of the old line all the way to Ambergate. The trail currently stops short of the tunnel at Haddon Hall at this path junction. And so, for my cycle ride today, the end of the Monsal Trail ends at this wooden sign. Back on the bike, I returned up the line, stopping to explore some more of the places along the way. I've added some notes to the description below. Thanks for watching and bye for now.